Hello, my name is Emir Leslie, and I'm a doctoral candidate for California Intercontinental University. And today we'll be discussing visualization hypothesis testing. This is our current agenda. We'll be talking about the terms or definitions in relation to mean, a definition for null and alternative hypothesis, the types of hypothesis testing, testing for a mean, comparing two groups, efficiency comparison, correlational testing. We'll also talk about takeaways, and after that we'll have questions. So the first term we have is mean. The definition for mean is the average of a set of figures. So what we're doing is we're looking at a certain mean population, and we're converting the average to a specific value. The next term is the null hypothesis. So the null hypothesis is the conjecture that postulates no differences or no relationship between or among variables. So the null hypothesis denotes by H subscript 0 is usually the hypothesis that same observations result purely from chance. And the last term that we have is alternative hypothesis. The definition is an educated conjecture that sets the parameters one expects to find. The alternative hypothesis is tested to see whether or not the null is to be rejected. And it's denoted by either an H subscript 1 or H subscript A for alternative. In the case of using the numbers, we're using the numbers based off of having one or multiple different hypothesis, alternative hypothesis. And that is the hypothesis that samples observations are influenced by some non-random cause. So the first hypothesis testing that we have is visualization number 1, where we have a test for a mean. So on the x-axis we see the number of defective widgets out of 100, and on the y we see the probability of defect. So with this research question that we have is, on average, are the widgets from Acme Widget Company defect-free? The null hypothesis that postulating is, on average, the widgets are defect-free, with 0 defect. And we see the symbol that shows the mean equals 0. The alternative hypothesis that we have is, on average, the widgets are not defect-free, and it shows that the mean is actually greater than 0 defect, which has more defect. So the second visualization that we have, hypothesis testing, is comparing two groups. So we see on the x-axis we have the fraction of team that are home run hitters, and then on the y-axis we have the number of home runs. Okay, so we're looking at two different types of variables here. The first one is the major league team, and then the second is the minor league team. The research question that we have is, does the average major league team have more home run hitters than its corresponding minor league team? The null hypothesis that we have postulating is, the average major league team has more home run hitters than minor league teams. And that is done by the mean subscript 1 is greater than mean subscript 2. The alternative hypothesis that we have postulating is, the average major league team does not have more home run hitters than minor league teams. And as we see, that shows that the major league team, which is the mean subscript 1, is less than the minor league team, which is subscript 2. third visualization that we have is the efficiency comparison. So as we see the two comparisons here, we look at the red and the blue. On the x-axis we see the number served per hour, and then the y is the number of hours observed. The research question that we have is the efficiency curves of the red and blue teams were recorded. Do the teams have equal mean efficiencies? The null hypothesis that we're postulating is the teams have equal mean efficiencies, which is the mean subscript 1 is equivalent to mean subscript 2. In other words, the red is equivalent to the blue. The alternative hypothesis that we have is the teams do not have equal mean efficiencies, and it shows the symbol mean subscript 1 is greater than mean subscript 2. And as we can see in this example, the red has 10 hours and the blue has 4 hours. Now the last visualization that we have, visualization number 4. So after looking at hypothesis testing, the important takeaways that we have in regards to creating hypothesis tests, the first one is the null and alternative hypotheses are identified and explained to determine the outcome. The second takeaway for creating a hypothesis test is the hypothesis is tested in such a way as to predict a rejected and accepted result. The takeaways from using visualization is, first off, to provide information to create set patterns to assist in visualization practice. And the second takeaway for the visualization is utilizing the visuals will allow for the ability to compare the null and alternative hypothesis. So with that being said, I want to thank you for taking your time to watch and listen and participate in the study. Following this will be a discussion in regards to questions that you all have. Please post any questions that you have and let me know so I can get back. Okay, thank you.